It shows that the Nile Valley Africans went all over the world taking this damn Nile.
They were an African group who had left Egypt, Sudan, and Ethiopia, the Nile Valley. They went there with Thutmose III, and before Thutmose III, with other conquering people, and then they took on the name, by the way, Elamite. E-L-A-M, Elam was what was Ur, Chaldea, became Ur-Elam. In other words, as the Africans conquered that land, on their way all the way to India as conquerors, they changed the name of the land of Chaldea to the name of Elam, E-L-A-M.
This BBC documentary tells us about the great dwarf deities of Egypt, Bes and Ptah. Here is two deities, the two earliest deities of Egypt, Ptah and Bes.
It's showtime! Hurry, hurry, step right up! Introducing the star of our show! His name is
Elamite.
And I can show you where this representation of Bes went all over the world. All over the world. Went into the islands of Asia, went to India, went to Sumeria, and you see Bes also there. So the two oldest deities of the Nile Valley, Bes and Ptah, are the Twa and the Hutu, which come up out of Central East Africa. This shit has been taken all over the world by the Twa.
The cradle of African civilization by the way of Ethiopia was Central Africa. Ethiopia was Central Africa. Relying on classical authors, Hansberry began in his lectures to outline the antiquity of the classical world intimacy with Ethiopia. His basic argument was that there was clearly contact and interaction between Ethiopians and the people of the Eastern Mediterranean basin hundreds of years prior to the first notations and the earliest use of the term Ethiopian by Homer in the 9th century BC. Clearly an important part of the populations of Arabia, Mesopotamia, Persia and India were of Ethiopian descent. This conclusion was further substantiated by Herodotus' comments concerning the Eastern Ethiopians.
Here you're looking at the mighty Semakhet, 5th king of the first dynasty, 3050 to 2890 BCE, who moved into the Sinai Peninsula, also into Mesopotamia, and you even hear the nation of Sumeria in his name, Semakhet. And here is the black-headed people, the Nile Valley Africans that moved into that area, that went into that area under Semakhet and established Sumeria. Again, you're looking at the Babylonians, the Immortals, who worship Amun-Ra, who worship the Sphinx, who worship Horn-Aki. And you see that they're black and that they come up out of the Nile. And here we go, and it says, and a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from this it was parted and became unto 4 heads. The name of the first is Pison, that which cometh the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. The gold of that land is good. There is bdellium and the onyx stone. And the name of the second river is Gihon, the same is that cometh the whole land of Ethiopia. The name of the third river, Ezekiel, that is which goeth towards the east of Assyria, and the fourth river is Euphrates. So it shows you right there that the African countries took preeminence over Assyria, Mesopotamia. So I don't know what they keep trying to talk about, that Mesopotamia brought anything into Africa. That's bullshit. Again, you're looking at Persepolis, Iran, Mesopotamia. You're looking at their architecture, seeing that their architecture is nothing but a plagiarization of the Nile Valley architecture. Taken straight up out of the Nile Valley. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is a ziggurat. And you can see how they built with mud, brick, and show you how the rain and dilapidated their architecture. They were never on the level of the Nile Valley Africans. They never built with stone. and the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, which is Egypt, Cush, Ethiopia, Punt, which is Somalia, and Canaan. And the sons of Cush, Seba, and Havilah. So that right there shows you that Havilah is the son of Cush. And Cush begot Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord, and the beginning of his kingdom was Babylon, Erech, Akkad, Calneh, and in the land of Shinar, which is Sumer. So it shows that the Cushites took knowledge in the Mesopotamia. Nimrod, the Cushite, took it into Mesopotamia. He started Babylon. He started Shinar, which is Sumeria. That's the proof. What is he talking about? How the hell you brought anything into Kemet when it clearly shows that the Africans, the Hermetics, took it into Mesopotamia? Again, you're looking at artifacts, the so-called Sphinx, which they had taken up out of Egypt. You also see the lotus flower, which is the sacred plant of Upper Egypt, showing that they knew that they came from Upper Nile, up out of the Upper Nile regions of Africa. Here is the Africans of Babylon, the Ishtar Gate, Nebuchadnezzar the second, 605, 562 BCE. And you can see it ain't nothing but the pylons of an Egyptian temple. That's all it is. You see the two pylons here, you see the opening here, that's the style that it came from. So that backs the fact that Nimrod, being a Cushite, took the knowledge into Mesopotamia. So of course they're going to have similarities. But the African is the oldest. That this is a replica of what was going on in the Nile Valley. Here again, you're looking at artifacts from Nimrud, Assyria, Babylonia, Sumeria, where they had gotten their knowledge from the Nile Valley Africans. You see the influence in all of their artifacts. Now you're looking at Ishtar, which was nothing but a Mesopotamian form of Aset. And you see that they both have the ring of life in their possession. What you're looking at is Mesopotamian artifacts. Look at the Egyptian influence on Mesopotamia. It was never vice versa. So you see who was the master and who was the student. So this is why you see what they call the Tower of Babel. It's nothing but a step pyramid. They did very sloppy out there because Mesopotamia does not have stone. Everything they built with mud brick, dry sun bricks. And that's why it fell down like it did. They never had the technology of the Nile Valley Africans. They never built in stone, never. And so when you go, this is right here, is in Persepolis. Persepolis is in Iran. Okay? Go look it up. That's an Egyptian temple. You see armor right up there? So that shows you, right here, you got the Cushites of Babylon. That's right. And you got, right here, Tutankhamun. You see the blue hair on both of them? That's symbolic of being in a connection with the mother, which is new. The sky, a representation of the sky. That's why their hair is blue, symbolic of the great mother. And you can see that connection in them. And there's some lotuses on them walls too. It says right here, under Dedan and Sheba, the Cushites were the first race to settle the country and were joined by the Semites 3 centuries later. The Semite is a term in the Arabic lore meaning foreigners because of their late arrival. Arabia was undoubtedly a part of the African Ethiopic dominion, whose traces abound in every district of the peninsula, especially in the area of astronomy, mathematics, navigation, philosophy, and theology. The great Ethiopian empire had declined and was disunited within centuries before the Semites held any recognized place in Arabia. Now look at the images of Amen-Ra, the winged sun disk, that the Mesopotamians have taken up out of the Nile Valley and are worshiping. All of these Jesse Jerusalem Muslims and Father Kabbalah, another weak-ass scholar, gonna tell you and me that the knowledge did not come up out of the Nile. You look at the artifacts for yourself And you tell the damn truth. This is Mesopotamia. And it shows us definitely, beyond any shadow of a doubt, that the knowledge moved from up out of the Nile into Mesopotamia, into India, into China, into Phoenicia, into Europe. It is from up out of the Nile Valley that all culture, all civilization moved around the planet Earth.
Okay, now, this is in Elam, Mindi. This is in Elam. This is Iran. Okay? This is the Brotherhood in Iran. And J.A. Rogers hit me to this particular, that they also wore the cap scheme. So you can, don't sleep on J.A. Rogers. On mostly all the temples, right above the door, a lot of the temples, you'll see the winged sun disc. Okay, this is your caduceus. Okay, now this is right here, is in Babylonia. Okay, to show you that the craft went into Mesopotamia, just like I just told you about Heru went into India, Egypt, Ethiopia, Nubia. Listen, the educational system of the Nile Valley control all civilization that you see on the planet Earth today. There wouldn't be no civilization nowhere else if the Egyptians, Africans, Ethiopians had not come up out of Africa and took it there. Again, this is showing you again the sun disk. So that's why if our people love the sun like that, you know you got some energy. You got some power there. Okay? And so again, this is the sun disk right there in Babylonia. We'll go into it in more depth. And you see the sun disk right there. And so again, this is even better. This is at Persepolis. This is Iran. You can see the winged sun disk up there. Okay? So that's pre-Islam. That's pre-Hebrew. Okay? Now that's a fact. They won't show you that. That preceded Islam over in Iran. Iraq. Tell them to come out with that. Won't do it. Won't do it. Okay? So you can see right there the worship of Ra in Mesopotamia. Get over it. The building is still standing. So if you ever get a chance to go to Iran, you can visit Persepolis. Now look at him. You can see the deviations at this point, because now he riding on the damn sun disk. Okay? See this? This is the Aker. This represents yesterday. This represents the future. This come out of ancient Egypt. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. Okay. Now this is in Babylonia. And again, what it represents, this represents yesterday. And then in Egypt, you'll have the sun disk here. And this represents the future. And the sun representing the present day. Okay? And I'm going to show you here. See the Aker? See the Aker? I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back. Aker, god of the horizon. You see the two lions right here. And you see the sun disk. See it right here? They just ain't got, and the sun is above it. Because that sun disk that I show you back here, that's it. Above those two, what you call form axis. So it's above that. So that's that right there. God Aker, the god of the horizon. Equal, Aker, equal, equator. See the equator? This hottest at the equator. Okay? And so that's Aker, that's the Egyptian representation. Yesterday, your history, today, what we're doing right now, and the future. What we're going to do with this information when we get up out of here. This one right here is in Persepolis, Elam, Iran, modern day Iran. Abraham, father of Hebrewism, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, was born in Ur Chaldea, a stronghold of the Ethiopian warrior King Nimrod, son of Cush. Now I can tell you right now, and I'm going to hit hard. I'm going to hit hard. Because a lot of people, and not just one person, a whole lot of people, especially with